Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Coach Andi and I am a holistic sobriety coach. And today I want to talk about the fact that I tried the 75 Hard program and failed. This was my first attempt doing it, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what happened for me, what my experience was, what my takeaways were, and how I'm going to move forward after this failure. So I want to go ahead and tell you really quick what 75 Hard is in case you've never heard of it. So 75 Hard is a program that Andi started. He is the guy that started First Form Products. And basically, he created this as a mental toughness program. So a lot of people think it's like a fitness program, but it's not. It's supposed to get you grit. It's supposed to actually challenge your mindset. And basically the way he describes it is that you will start as one person and end as a completely different person. And if you look below in the caption, I linked to a podcast episode if you want to learn more about it and hear him talk about it directly. It's 75 days straight of 2 workouts a day. The workouts have to be 45 minutes in length, and one of them has to be outside. No matter what, one of them has to be outside. Another one of the requirements is that you have to stick to a diet. So Andi doesn't tell you specifically what diet you have to stick to, but he says that you do have to stick to one, and there is 0 deviation. So no cheating, no rewriting the rules during the challenge, anything like that. So you have to stick to a diet. You can't have any alcohol, which sobriety coach, so that wasn't going to be an issue for me. But you can have no alcohol during the program. You have to read 10 pages every single day. It can't be an audiobook or a podcast. It has to be an actual physical book that you read. So you have to read 10 pages a day. You also have to take a progress picture every day. And this is really for your own benefit so that you can scroll back through each day and kind of watch your transition and your journey over the course of the 75 days. He has an app, which I thought was really helpful. So you can download the app. It's $5 on the App Store. And then you can track each day what you're doing. Another requirement is you have to drink a gallon of water every single day. Yes, that is a lot of water. So now that I've told you the rules of what 75 Hard is, I want to talk to you a little bit about what my experience was. So I started right before December, and I knew that I was taking on an extra layer to this challenge by doing it over the holidays, and the fact that I live in Utah and I'm going to be dealing with the elements, and the fact that it was going to be snowing some days and there was going to be, storms and whatever. His podcast is really inspiring. He basically just says don't wait, just start doing it. And so I thought that was really powerful, and I did. I just decided to start because otherwise I would have just kept putting it off, and I never would have started, like he says. Then I knew the hardest thing for me was going to be a combination of drinking that much water and doing 2 45-minute workouts a day. I'm a mom of 2 toddlers, 2 and 3 years old, and I also work from home, full-time job, plus I have my coaching business. So I'm very, very busy, and I just knew that finding the time was going to be challenging for me. Drinking that much water I knew was going to be challenging for me. The easiest parts I thought were going to be the easiest were the reading, because I've actually been looking for excuses and reasons to read more. So I was really excited about that element of the challenge. And I knew that the diet was going to be no issue for me because my background is a nutrition coach. So when I put my mind to something, especially when it's food and nutrition related, it's not ever an issue for me. A couple things that were surprising for me during this challenge was the fact that I got into the routine of working out a lot better than I thought I would. I also was really good about listening to my body. So I would, for example, walk. Some of my workouts were just walks. I would do, especially when it got colder outside and I didn't want to be running and slipping and sliding on ice, I would do my walks outside. I did find it a little challenging to stick to a certain fitness routine. I would have loved to every Monday do this, every Tuesday do that, but I really just kind of was would just run into my home gym and just start doing something, just move for 45 minutes. I also have a Peloton treadmill, so it was convenient for me to set up my laptop and just walk for 45 minutes while I'm answering emails and stuff like that. Another thing that was surprising to me was actually that the diet was more challenging than I thought it was going to be. So I actually thought that was going to be, again, one of the easiest parts for me, and it wasn't. It was pretty challenging. But I think for me, it's because I've done so much work in my past with dealing with my own disordered eating issues that for me, it felt like I was trying to be too controlling, and I've spent so many years learning how to listen to my body. And so it was hard to kind of work against that and to try to just be really regimented with my food. And I personally chose the paleo diet because that's what my background is. I used to coach about the paleo diet. It tends to be lower carb just in general. And I've just, again, done so much healing work around eating carbs and like not being afraid of carbs. So it was really kind of hard sometimes to know what to eat because I had to like extra think through it. I also had just come from like a few weeks of Thanksgiving and Halloween, and I was like eating more sweets than normal. So I definitely had some sugar cravings early on. So now I want to talk about what happened on New Year's Eve, right? Like, why did I fail? So basically, it started out that day with the fact that my nanny was an hour and a half late to get to us. And that kind of like already threw the day off. I had a bunch of stuff that I needed to get done. On top of that, I got into an argument with someone close to me, and that really threw me for a loop. They kind of just emotionally and energetically like dumped their shit onto me. And I didn't have good boundaries up at the time. And so I just kind of like absorbed all that energy. And it just basically a combination of things, being stressed out, being at home, feeling like I had a long list of things to accomplish and I wasn't getting anything done really stressed me out. And I just got into this really negative headspace where I was just like, I am so exhausted. I haven't taken a day off in 32 days. I can't even gather up the strength to think about walking right now. Like I was just so mentally, physically drained. I felt angry. I felt emotional. I was like on the brink of tears all day. Even like when I started to think like, am I really about to give up on this? Like I've worked so hard. A snowstorm hit. Like literally snow was like blowing sideways outside. And I just looked and I was like, I just can't. Like I just can't make myself do it. I also had barely drank any water that day, and it was about 4 p.m. at this point. And I also was just like, I don't want to chug a gallon of water. Like there are so many nights during this challenge that I was chugging like so much water to the point that my stomach hurt or I wanted to throw up. And I was like, I just don't want to do that anymore. So I really just let my mind get the worst of me, for lack of a better way of putting it. And I just couldn't make myself do it. And I was really upset, and I am still bummed the fact that I didn't see it through. And today being New Year's Day, I just kind of can't believe that this is how I'm starting the new year, is like that I failed at this. Here are some of the positive things I'm going to take away from this experience. It definitely got me back into the routine of working out every day. So previously, it's been really hard for me to keep up with my fitness routine. Again, mom of 2 toddlers, full-time job, side coaching business. And for me, I've taken so much time off, and it's just not been a part of my daily routine to make sure that I'm working out every day. So I'm hoping that now that I have over a month straight of working out twice a day, that it'll feel easy to me to maintain 1 time a day. So my goal is to continue to work out or move my body once a day. Another thing that was really fun for me during this challenge was the reading aspect. So I've been looking for excuses, ways to read more books, and this made me do it. And I've already accomplished and read 2 books in this challenge. And so I don't want to let go of that habit. That's another habit I want to keep up with, is reading every single day. The water intake, I am not disappointed about the fact that I no longer have to drink a gallon of water. In general, I think a gallon of water is too much water for the average person. Again, coming from a nutrition background, I know that too much water can actually be harmful for the body, especially if we're not absorbing it. And unfortunately for this challenge, if you add anything to your water, it doesn't count towards your total water intake. So I was using Element water packets, they're electrolytes, and I was putting those in my water, but anytime I would do that, that wouldn't count as my water intake towards the day. So I wasn't doing it very often, and I can tell that I was just like having to pee all the time. I was waking up like 4 and 5 times every night to pee. I will not miss that at all. As far as the diet aspect of it, something interesting that I noticed was that as the month went on, I started to like definitely slip on the diet. Like I was doing a paleo diet, but I started to rationalize what was considered paleo. Like for example, my original vision for my diet for the entire 75 Hard program was to do a paleo diet, but like strict paleo. So like no processed foods, no processed sugars. And what happened was like towards the end of it, especially like during the week of Christmas, I was like, well, these waffles are technically paleo waffles because they were, or this chip brand is technically a paleo brand. It says the P on it, or like this granola. And so I was like finding ways to rationalize the decisions that I was making and the fact that I actually did deviate. And one of the things he says is like 0 deviation. And I was just trying to rationalize that what I was doing was still okay so that I could just check that box off every day. And I was gonna do this all the way through 100%. I'd wanna make sure that my diet is 100% and that I wasn't deviating at all and that I wasn't cheating. So I know that might sound like really intense to people, but like that's just how my brain works. Is like if I'm gonna do something, I wanna do it the right way. And kind of the same thing with the workouts. Like there were definitely multiple days where both of my workouts, both of the 45-minute workouts every day was walking. So part of me was like, am I even not gonna get anything out of this because I'm just walking, if that makes sense? They recommend when you fail to go ahead and just start back with day 1 the very next day. And I'm just not there right now. I'm going to take away these positive things from this experience and incorporate the ones that make sense, the good habits, into my day and into my routine. But I am just not at the point right now where I can dedicate that much time every day to this challenge. 2 45-minute workouts every day is a lot, and I'm really looking forward to not giving up all of that time every day. Definitely think come this spring, I might consider doing it again, like maybe in April. The weather will be a lot better here. I can actually run outside and do more fun things like workouts outside instead of just walking in the snow. I think in general, I just am trying to not let this failure really weigh on me. The fact that it's January 1st and I'm feeling so crappy about myself, I really want to shift that energy and shift that perspective, which is why I'm openly talking about this. I don't want to feel like shit about myself. I don't want you to feel like shit about yourself if you failed and you decide to do it again or you don't decide to do it again. Any amount of time that I think you put into this challenge is great. I know that Andi Frisella would probably disagree with me. I can't let this derail how I feel about myself, because at the end of the day, I know that I am a strong, good person and I'm doing amazing things with my life and in this world. And the fact that I didn't accomplish this goal, like there's gonna be tons of other goals that I don't accomplish. And maybe the lesson that I need to take away from this is that sometimes you don't reach your goal, right? So where do you go from here? Am I going to lay in my bed all day and wallow and eat, ice cream and just like completely blow all of the progress that I've made these last, over the past month? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to take today to feel my feelings, to create a game plan so I can wake up tomorrow on January 2nd and dive right back into a routine that feels really, really good for me. Let me know below in the comments, have you done 75 hard before? Did you try it? Did you fail? What were your thoughts on it? If you've never done it and you're just like, this is the first time you've heard about it, what are your thoughts? Do you think you'd be interested in trying it? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, new videos every week in 2022.